Hello, I hope you're doing well. It is I, Lost Wolf. It is a sort of slow Sunday. It's very cold. And very quickly, just to wrap up with Ultima 4, because yesterday we looked at some reviews, we got the end of the game again. I thought that what we do, there were a couple of console versions of Ultima 4. There was a NES version, a version for the FM Towns, and a version that we're going to look at, the Sega Master System. Um, and I want to just super quickly take a look at that version of the game just to see how it got adapted to the console. Now, as far as I understand it, it's mostly faithful to Ultima 4 as we understand it. Um, the NES version is not quite as faithful, but we've seen a NES version already, and I don't want to harp on those too much. So I'd like to try something a little different, look at the SMS version of the game. This isn't going to be in-depth or anything. What we might do is get ourselves set up such that we can be near Castle Britannia, and to do that, the easiest way to do it is going to be a paladin maybe, because that way we can get ourselves into Trinsic or a bard even. That would get us into Britannia, which would actually be this sort of near perfect start for us to look at the world and just to see what the game is like. So that's the plan. I'm gonna do some very quick housekeeping and then we're gonna get going. So give me a second. Housekeeping. Okay. So before we get going too much, I want to look at the bits and pieces that make up the Ultima 4 console port experience. So much like we did with the the NES version of Ultima 3, we're going to look at the manuals and stuff. There's going to be a lot of replication from the DOS version that we saw over to the Sega Master System version, but the game manual, and how to play will be significantly different because it's a significantly different game on a console. So let's very quickly start with what we have, which is the box. Here. Oh, hold on. Maybe I need to be doing this. Here. There we go. Okay, cool. So, as you can see, right, we got adventure role playing. It's got the Sega box that some of you folks are probably at least familiar with from playing Sega games in this era. We got Ultima 4 by Lord British. There's no real difference in this from the boxes that we saw for the IBM version of the game. We got Origin Systems here. And then if we flip over, we've got these small little images here. Okay. We don't know what these are yet. This is a boat here that they're being attacked on. This is probably the overworld. Maybe this is a shrine. I don't know what this is. This looks like inside of a place. And this looks like inside of a place as well. Interestingly, the command window, the big window that scrolls on the side that tells you what's going on, has been changed a little bit for this port to be at the bottom. So, here, Ultima 4. Lord British, the wise and compassionate ruler of Britannia, wishes to erase the legacy left behind by the three evil lords. To do so, he must find an avatar. An avatar is one who has achieved enlightenment in the eight virtues: honor, valor, sacrifice, compassion, justice, spirituality, honesty, and humility. Only the most virtuous of souls can complete the perilous journey that lies ahead. If you think that you are the savior for whom Lord British is searching, then prove your worth by taking on the quest of the Avatar. I think this is nice and very succinct. And then we've got different languages here. This is the European version of the game. So we've got German here, and we got French down below it. Players 1 up to 3 if games are saved alternated. So you get 3 save slots, preferable Sega control pad or control stick. Note, includes battery backup memory. 1990 Sega, made in Japan. Then we got a barcode there. So, sure, that is the box. And then I'm very quickly just going to take you through the manuals. But again, there's a lot of repetition here because most of the manuals are just the same as what we've seen before. There isn't anything too exciting happening with these manuals. So let's just flip over to the law books. So I'm not actually going to spend time with this because we've seen it already. But this is the history of Britannia as told by Kyle the Younger. And you can see that it opens more or less exactly like the law book that we saw. We got political history, geography, and these are all one-to-one the same. I'm not going to read any of this sorts of things that we saw in the PC version of the manual. This law book anyway. Mercantile, things that you can buy, mandrake root and nightshade. And we got cloth, leather, chain, and plate. You can buy different versions of those as you find different towns. We've got transportation here, grass, bush, and forest. So, as you can see, it's almost 100% the same as what we saw with the PC version. Weapons and armor of the realm. They do mention sword, crossbow, flame oil, halberd, but they don't get into magical artifacts at all, right? We got a bestiary. You need to take notes about this kind of thing, because of course we got bat, which is non-evil, and so on. Are they going to mention that here? Yes, non-evil and evil, sure. So that is the same. And then we got, you know, different images and so on and so forth. And then the skills of combat, how to fight, fleeing, victory, modern civilization in our universe. And then of course we got this diagram that we saw at the back of the original booklet. And of course this is, again, you would need to learn this and so on. Okay, there's an afterward here. This is new for this version. As an addendum to this work, I, Lord British, would like to speak of the quest of the Avatar mentioned in these pages. The quest of the Avatar is the search for a new standard, a new vision of life for which our people may strive. We seek the person who can become a shining example for our nation and guide us from the age of darkness into the age of light. Oh, even he's calling it the age of light here. This is why people were talking about the age of light in the reviews. Again, they hadn't settled on the idea that this would be the age of enlightenment. We have sent this message out to the furthest reaches of the known universe. Indeed, we have spoken across the void of time. Is there one who can complete the quest? Actually, this is the same as what we'd seen before. Sorry, I shouldn't be reading this. It's pointless. Yeah, and then he's got the thanks over here. Does he talk about anyone at Sega? No, he does not. All these people are people in Origin. Okay, cool. Interesting that he doesn't mention anyone at Sega, because Sega would have had to have done some sort of heavy lifting for this as well. Right, so that's that manual. And we want the spellbook. Now again, I'm not going to get too involved in the spellbook. The spellbook's cover is slightly different because it's blue now, but otherwise it's basically identical, right? The Book of Mystic Wisdom. They've lopped out some of the pretty pictures, it seems. Yeah. Oh, there they are. Okay, there's some of them. Oh, these are all the ingredients. Okay, yes. And then we've got Cure and Dispel. And you can see here, this is very cool. They got the image on the left and their description on the right. So again, not going to get too deeply into this. Yeah, this is Z down. Okay. I want to show you the map very quickly because the map is very interesting. The map is like we remember it. The map is 100% like we remember it. There's some extra pictures on the left-hand side here. But this would have been, if you folded it out, it would have had a front and a back. This is the front, and the right-hand side of this is the front. So this is the first half of the map. And we've got the gates over here, there, and so on. Gates. And then we got the right-hand side of the map again. Notice how once more we've got this obfuscation. We don't know where Buccaneer's Den is. It's just not here. But now this map does a super cool thing that I think it should have been done for the DOS and other versions of the game. It actually gives you really useful information, actually. Pavati says, oh hey, it's the fold out map I have. Yeah. And now if we go to the bottom here, this is super interesting and very useful. It actually tells you, this is a thing that we would have had to have worked out ourselves, right? It tells you who can equip which piece of equipment. It also tells you what price they command at the different towns that you go into. This is stuff we had to work out ourselves because our version of the game didn't tell us this. But this is, I love this very informative use of the back half of the map. It's very, very cool because it tells you exactly who can equip what and how much the thing costs, so you can make plans for how to equip your characters, right? So this is pretty cool. And then it goes on to do this for like all the other bits and pieces in the game, armor and so on and so forth. And here we have some images from the game itself. Armor, again, super cool. Reagents. This is also quite useful because it tells you how much things cost in different places. And so you can draw your own conclusions as to where you should be buying different things. Like there's a question mark. It doesn't actually fall this in. but you see a significant saving of black pearl if you find your way to there. So yeah, and then we got magic spells recipes here. We had to work this out ourselves. As you can see, it's got MP, but it tells us everything that you need to know about each spell and how you need to fill it in. It's got gate travel here, which isn't filled in, and quickness and resurrect, which are not filled in because you learn those. And then over here, this is actually bit for bit the version of the menu that comes up when you use the MS-DOS version's menu to mix spells. So we got A, sulfurous ash, B, ginseng, garlic, spider silk, and so on and so forth. Right? This is very cool. I 100% wish this was in the DOS and older versions. And now, the only other thing I want to show you before we actually dip into the game itself is the Sega manual that comes with the game. Now, I'm mostly going to skip past some of this, but there's a couple of things I want to just focus on very briefly because I want to talk about how they had to adapt the game to make it work on a console. On the Sega Master System, for those of you who haven't used one, you don't have a keyboard. It's just that's the way the consoles, some of the consoles, like some of the funny Japanese and Chinese consoles, would have had a port to put a keyboard in, but they were sort of few and far between. By 1985, the idea of a console had become, oh, you attach a pair of joysticks to it, or a controller, as we've come to call them, and you put a cartridge in and off you go. So it became ever more rare that consoles were seen as sort of computers, and so there weren't keyboards attached to them. So yeah, we have instructions for starting the game up. There, make sure the power switch is off, insert the game cartridge. I'm not going to go into this too much. Oh goodness. And then we have, so one thing that you'll notice is that there's 3 sets of instructions. There's always English, and then because this is the European version of this manual, we'll always see German and then French. Okay, and then we've got take control, and here we've got the controller. It's a very simple controller. There's just an 8-way directional joystick here, which is sort of a thing that you'd push on. This is a joystick like we would have understood it from the Atari 2600 days. This is just a little set of buttons that you push to get your direction, and then you got your button 2 and button 3. It's interesting that at this juncture no one had labeled them button A and B, which is what they would sort of come to be in more modern systems. So you'll see, like, for example, one of the reasons why for example, the Xbox 360 controller and beyond have A, B, and XY is because the earlier controllers would label these things often as A and B, and then you'd have start and select sometimes on them too. Directional button D button, button 1 and button 2, prepare for adventure. In the first is the title screen, you'll see a mini demonstration at the bottom. Press button 1 or 2 to advance to the game select screen. Journey onward should be selected when you wish to continue a game that you saved previously. If you're reading this now, you probably never played before, so please select Initiate a new game. Return to the view will allow you to take another look at the demonstration scene. To select an option, find it using the D button and then press 1 or 2. So that looks like this. It's very much like the version of the startup screen that we have. Journey onward, we're not going to read about that. And then what's interesting about this manual for me is that they are so compact with their language that they get all three sets of instructions onto two separate pages. So we got here Journey Onward for German and Journey Onward for French. Okay. You choose a name, man or woman, the history of Britannia. Watch the story screens carefully. This is how your character gets involved in a quest. You may take as long as you need to read each screen, then advance by pressing 1 or 2. This is actually technically better than what the DOS version allows. It just carries you along. When you're instructed to read the history of Britannia, you'd best do so. The book contains a wealth of information on nearly every subject regarding Britannia. Don't continue with the story screens until you've read it thoroughly. The second book you'll come across will help you as well, but it's not necessary to read it just yet. To translate the title of the second book into English, use the code key found on page 28, and that's just the runic to English alphabet. And so, by what name shall thou be known in this world and time? And then, for whatever reason, this person has called themselves Boxy. The purpose of your quest. You have been chosen to rid Britannia of evil once and for all. The amulet that's been bestowed upon you is the Ankh. That's this guy here. The symbol of life and rebirth. Only one who possesses the Ankh may attempt the quest of the Avatar. Your objective is simple: to conquer the abyss and view the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. Reaching this objective, though, is possibly the most difficult task you'll ever undertake. To gain entrance to the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom, you must first have obtained enlightenment in each of the 8 virtues. The 8 virtues are honesty, compassion, valor, justice, sacrifice, honor, spirituality, and humility. Only to pierce the souls with the rightest of minds has even a slight chance of reaching the end of this long road. Playing the game. Okay, we get 3 sections as opposed to 4. Top left is what you see. The right is your information, and below the commands that you've chosen will appear. Commands. So here we've seen that this is just somewhat abrogated. You still see hit, orc killed, and then you get your experience. It's the same as what we saw in our version of the game, but now there's a whole list of things that you can do. Like over here, you got talk, attack, magic, get chest, use, ready, search, and camp. This isn't context sensitive. I assume you'll just get these regardless of what you're looking at. To call up the command list, press button 2. To select a command, move the selection bar with the D button and select it by pressing button 2. To cancel a command, press button 1. That's very awkward. In the modern era, we will do this a little bit differently. Everything will be on button 1, except for cancelling will be on button 2. Okay. They're going to tell you that you need to talk to people. You can attack. You can have talk, attack, magic, get chest, and so on. When you wish to cast a spell or mix reagents, select this command. Then select the subcommand, and the pertinent information will appear. You should probably read the second of the books that was given to you, as it describes in detail every magic spell that can be cast. Mix reagents, right, cast spell, mix reagents. We're not going to go over that. But there's cast spell, get chest, sure. Note, don't take chests from the towns. This is perceived as a weakness of character, and many may hinder your progress. Remember, stay pure of mind and soul. Use. There are 2 sub-commands here. They're talking about the distinction between ready and use. Equipment consists of things that you buy at the guild shop in the town of Vesper, not on the map. Are you just going to start in Vesper regardless? That's interesting. And the search command. Ready, you want to... oh, they don't have distinctions between ready and where. So it's just both of them fall in under this command. Search, camp, rest, new order. Yeah, sure. Oh, that's all attached to the... Oh, interesting. the camp command. You can't change your order at any point. Status. Okay, so we have the moon. We've got golden food at the top, which is interesting. There's slightly, I wouldn't call it more information, it's just spread out differently. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Save. After a long day's journey, you may find that you want to keep the game to continue later. You can save up to 3 games simultaneously. Shopping. Transportation. Oh, they got little close-ups of the horses. And the boats. That's super cool. The shrines, runes of entry. For each of the 8 virtues, there is a shrine at which one can meditate and seek enlightenment. Learn the locations of the shrines from the townspeople. Also, learn the mantra for each virtue. A mantra is a single word that you must chant to help you focus your thoughts during meditation. You cannot, however, enter a shrine unless you bear the rune of entry. To enter a shrine, you must possess the rune of entry for that particular shrine. The runes are very well hidden. It will take patience and a lot of questions on your part to discover the general area of a rune location, and some physical duress in actually taking them. There's a shrine. Stones. In your conversation, you may eventually hear tell of some special colored stones, which can help you on your quest. Follow the clues as you would when searching a rune shrine or anything else. Okay. Helpful hints. When you're moving, have a particular destination in mind. Aimless roaming is sure to get you killed. Translate the map provided by using the code key found on page 28, which is over here. Whoa. There. And this is just the runic to English translation. You can see here again they got THEENGA and ST and UV at the bottom there, which we mistranslated initially. Knowing where you are and where you're going is a great import to you at all times. The importance of talking to people cannot be overemphasized. Never leave a town without being confident that you talk to everyone at least once. Keep plenty of ginseng and garlic on hand. They're the reagents needed to perform the cure spell. You'll most likely have no choice but to enter marshy terrain at some point, so be prepared. That's interesting that they don't mention the heal spell as well, because that's also super important. Take notes as you play. That way, you may always know what information you got in what town. Try to take care of as much business in one trip to a town as possible. For example, even if you didn't go to a town for the express purpose of shopping, pick up a few things. Use the moon gates often. The moon symbols at the top left of the screen will dictate your destination. Practice using the gates to get your timing down. The guild shop, located in an uncharted town east of the Bloody Plains, is a place where you can buy certain things that you can't get anywhere else. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if they're talking about pause. Interesting. You should try to find the town. Oh, it's the town of Vesper. Okay. Handling the mega cartridge. Yeah, sure. And then that's the end over here, printed in Japan. Okay. So let's very quickly fire up the game and kind of see what we get in this version of the game. Now, just a second, because I need to make sure. Okay. I was worried that my controller wasn't plugged in, but it is. I hope this works. Did it work? Oh wait, you don't know it? I don't know yet because we're not on that screen. Okay. So let's do this. Oh, okay, good. You're seeing a very black screen. That's good because that means that it did work. Here. Okay. I forgot that there was a second verse. That's such a pretty picture. Wow. It's a little loud. I'm going to turn it down a slight bit because I didn't realize that it was quite that loud. When I was doing tests earlier this afternoon, I was like, I think it's fine, but it's actually pretty loud. We do kind of want to hear it because we want to hear the difference between the PC version that we heard and their version. So I'm going to flip over here. Uh-oh. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure that this has to do with... Oh, there we go. Alright. Let's see if that worked. Yes. No, it did not. Hang on. I might have to restart. Oh god. I might have to restart the emulator. Hang on. It read the input, but not correctly. Oh, that's why. Okay, so hang on. I know why. We're gonna do this, and then this, and we're going to save that, hopefully, and hopefully this just works now. No. Okay, cool. Oh. Alright, let's try that one last time. There we go. Okay, oof, I had to fight with that. So we got journey onward, initialize new game, return to the view. So we're going to do initiate new game. We need to pick our name. Oh, you know what? It's the other way around. This should be thus, and that should be thus. There we go. Okay. That's better. Yeah, that's better. I think we're only going to get 8 characters. Oh, no, we got all 9. Okay. Sentinel2112 says, Lost Wolf, how are things? They're doing pretty well. I hope you're well too, Great Bitty Gamer says. Here, Lost Wolf, take these. You might need them. Thank you. It's good to see you, sir. Right. I'm gonna be quiet. We're going to watch an introductory, like a little thing. The day is warm, yet there is a cooling breeze. The latest in a series of personal crises seems insurmountable. You are being pulled apart in all directions. Sentinel2112 says, doing well, glad to hear it. Immediately, we didn't get nice graphics for our version of the game, but immediately much nicer graphics for this opening. But yeah. Yet, this afternoon's walk in the countryside slowly brings relaxation to your harried mind. The soil... That should be toil. I don't know why it's soil. The toil and strain of modern high-tech living begins to wash off in layers. That willow tree near the stream looks comfortable and inviting. The buzz of dragonflies and the whisper of the willow's swaying branches bring a deep peace. Searching inward for tranquility and happiness, you close your eyes. A high-pitched cascading sound, like crystal wind chimes, impinges on your floating awareness. As you open your eyes, you see a shimmering blueness rise from the ground. The sound seems to be emanating from this glowing portal. Now we have a moon gate. It is difficult to look at the blueness. Light seems to bend and distort around it, while the sound waves become so intense they appear to become visible. The portal hangs there for a moment, then, with the rush of an imploding vacuum, it sinks into the ground. Something remains suspended in midair for a moment before falling to earth with a heavy thud. Somewhat shaken by this vision, you rise to your feet to investigate. A crude circle of stones surrounds the spot where the portal appeared. There is something glinting in the grass. Again, much nicer graphics than what we got for the sequence. You pick up an amulet shaped like a cross with a loop at the top. It is an egg, the sacred symbol of life and rebirth. But this could not have made the thread. So you look again and find a large book wrapped in thick cloth. With trembling hands, you unwrap the book. Behold, the cloth is a map, and within lies not one book, but 2. The map is of a land strange to you, and the style speaks of an ancient cartography. The script of the cover of the first book is arcane, but readable. The title is The History of Britannia, as told by Kyle the Younger. The other book is disturbing to look at. Its small cover appears to be fashioned out of some sort of leathery hide, but from what creature is uncertain. The reddish-black skin radiates an intense aura suggestive of ancient power. Now, the book in the Sega Master System version is blue, so I don't know why they're telling us that it's brown here. The tongue of the title is beyond your ken. You dare not open the book and disturb whatever sleeps within. You decide to peruse the history. Settling back under the willow tree, you open the book. You read the book of history. No, really, read the book of history. Closing the book, You again pick up the ankh. As you hold it, you begin to hear a hauntingly familiar lute-like sound wafting over a nearby hill. Still clutching the strange artifacts, you rise unbidden and climb the slope. There's the fair. In the valley below, you see what appears to be a fair. It seems strange that you came that way earlier and noticed nothing. As you mull this over, your feet carry you down towards the site. This is no ordinary traveling carnival, but a Renaissance fair. The pennants and the tent tops blow briskly in a late afternoon breeze. The ticket taker at the Ren Fair, it's interesting that they just jammed that whole word together like that. Where this game originated, because most of these games start off life in Japan, especially if they're on the Sega Master System. They might not have jammed that together in the Japanese version of this game. They may have spread it out across the two words. Renfair's gate starts to ask you for money, but upon spotting your ankh says, "Welcome, friend. Enter in peace and find your path." The music continues to pull you forward amongst the merchants and vendors. Glimpses of fabulous treasures can be seen in some of the shadowy booths. These people are very happy. They seem to glow with an inner light. Some look up as you pass and smile, but you cannot stop. The music compels you to move onward through the crowd. And there's that pretty scene that we saw in the magazine, and now we're seeing it in colour. It is quite pretty. They've done a good job here with the light and the shade and everything. Through the gathering dusk, you see a secluded gypsy wagon sitting off in the woods. The music seems to emanate from the wagon. As you draw near, a woman's voice weaves into the music, saying, "You may approach, O seeker." You enter to find an old gypsy sitting in a small, curtained room. She wears an ankh around her neck. In front of her is a round table covered in deep green velvet. The room smells so heavily of incense that you feel dizzy. Seeing the ankh, the ancient gypsy smiles and warns you never to part with it. "We have been waiting such a long time, but at last you have come. Sit here, and I shall read the path of your future." Upon the table she places a curious wooden object, like an abacus, but without beads. In her hand she holds 8 unusual cards. Let us begin the casting. The gypsy places the first 2 cards upon the table. They are the cards of valor and justice. She says, "Consider this. Thou hast been sent to secure a needed treaty with a distant lord. Thy host is agreeable to the prospect, but insults thy country at dinner. Dost thou A. valiantly bear the slurs, or justly rise and demand an apology?" This seems like a B thing. So A will probably be valor and B will be justice. I'm not going to cram us into any particular type of character this time, mainly just because we're not going to be playing this for very long. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards on the table. They're the cards of sacrifice and humility. She says, "Consider this. Thou art an elderly, wealthy eccentric. Thy end is near. Dost thou donate all thy wealth to feed hundreds of starving children and receive public adulation, or humbly live out thy life, willing thy fortune to thy heirs?" I would go with A, but without the public adulation. It just makes more sense, right? You're helping to feed people who really desperately need the food. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of honesty and compassion. She says, "Consider this. Entrusted to deliver an uncounted purse of gold, thou dost meet a poor beggar. Dost thou deliver the gold, knowing the trust of thee was well placed, or showing compassion, giving the beggar a coin, knowing it won't be missed? This seems like a B thing. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They're the cards of honor and spirituality. She says, consider this. In thy youth thou pledged to marry thy sweetheart. Now thou art on a sacred quest in distant lands. Thy sweetheart asks thee to keep thy vow. Dost thou honor thy pledge to wed, or follow thy spiritual crusade? This is a difficult question. It's difficult not because of the distinction that you're making between being married and being spiritual. It's difficult because of the promise that you made here. Now, I think that over time people change. You may have changed enough that the person you wanted to wed maybe won't recognize you after the wedding, especially if you're already on a quest to gain spirituality. You might end up being a very different person than the person they initially thought you were. So I think that it would be fair to go back to them, to have a conversation with them, spend some time with them, and to let them see the path you're on and the person you're becoming before they tie themselves down to someone that they maybe didn't want to be involved with. So this one's a bit more of a nuanced question with a very difficult answer. But I think that for me personally, in this situation, I think that you'd have to go into a middle ground, and the game won't let us do that. So I would go with B, with the intent that after the spiritual quest you would come back to them and say, listen, this is the person I am now. Let's spend time together. Let's figure out if this is still the thing that we want to do. I'm still interested in the idea potentially. You might still be interested in the idea potentially. Let's just see what comes of that. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and justice. She says, consider this. After 20 years thou hast found the slayer of thy best friends. The villain proves to be a man who provides soul support for a young girl. Dost thou spare him in compassion for the girl, or slay him in the name of justice? Spare him. I mean, he may have, it's 20 years, so much could have happened in 20 years. He was a very different person. We don't know that he is still that same person. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of sacrifice and spirituality. She says, consider this. Thou hast spent thy life in charitable and righteous work. Thine uncle, the innkeeper, lies ill and asks you to take over his tavern. Dost thou sacrifice thy life of purity and to aid thy kin, or decline and follow thy spirit's call? This again is a very difficult question, and it's difficult for who you're making the promise to, right? You might make this promise to this person and then be grossly unhappy, right? And you might make this promise, the spiritual promise, to yourself and end up being happy on that path. So I think that what you maybe have to do in this specific case is some kind of compromise. I don't think people get tied down quite this much anymore, but in the old days it was easy to get tied down in this sort of honorable sacrifice, and so this would have been for life in that time and place. But now it's a little bit easier to say, you know what, I'll compromise, and that is what I would lean towards, is saying, listen, I will look after the inn for you for a year or 2, with the understanding that I will find someone else to run it who I trust. And I don't know if you will trust them, but the spiritual path is important to me, and I need to follow that through. So I would go with A, if we had the option to spend a little time to allow the inn to get on its feet, and then to leave to go for B, so we're going to go for B here. The gypsy places the last 2 cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and spirituality. She says, consider this. Thou hast been taught to preserve all life as sacred. A man lies fatally stung by a venomous serpent. He pleads for a merciful death. Dost thou show compassion and end his pain, or heed thy spiritual beliefs and refuse? Now, this is again like a super difficult question. You don't necessarily want to kill people, right? But sometimes pain is insurmountable, and it's so bad that to end the life of someone who's suffering like that is compassion in and of itself, because you're allowing them, they've asked you, and if they're of sound mind, you're saying, okay, the bargain we're making here is that I'm freeing you from your pain, right? Whereas this just lets the person suffer in anguish, and it's not necessarily fair to them. So I would, this is not going to be a thing on your spiritual journey that will happen super often. Maybe this will haunt you for the rest of your days. But in this particular case, with this particular person suffering, it would make sense to give them what they're asking for. With the final choice, the incense swirls around you. The gypsy speaks as if from a great distance, her voice growing fainter with each word. So be it. That path is chosen. There is a moment of intense, wrenching vertigo as you open your eyes. A voice whispers within your mind, seek the counsel of thy sovereign. After a moment, the spinning subsides, and you open your eyes too. I wonder if you just get plopped at Britannia all the time. Oh, I wanted to look at my character. Camp? Status. We're a bard. Oh, that's good. Actually, bards start off at Britain, because Britain is the place where the bards are, right? So good. We got kind of what I wanted. We've got level 3, we got strength of 18, we got dex of 18, we got high int, which means that we got some magic points. We got magic point maximum, which is 28, so it's 28 for 28. But I think that bards can only get up to 50, because this is 28 or 28. If we were a mage, we would have had, if we hadn't entered 28, it would have been multiplied by 2, which would have been 56, right? So, compromise, I guess. We got HP, we got maximum HP, we got 240 experience, we got a weapon, a sling, and an armor, which is a class. Do we have... We've got gold. Okay. Talk. Oh, there's a little cursor. That's very cool. You meet a bouncing jester. He says, I am Chuckles. Oh, that's very good. I like that. It's got like a little menus with this name. It says, I am Chuckles. Look. You see a bouncing jester. Job. I am the real jester. Health. Good, thanks. Tell me about Royal Jester. Welcome unto the Castle Britannia. Hast thou an ank? Yes. Then enter in peace. Oh, that's kind of good. He remembers that... I wonder if he's going to... Hang on. Let's just find him again. Talk. Oh, he does not remember. You'd have to make notes. Oh no, that's very funny. Okay, I'm gonna take the 10-minute break. We're gonna come back and then we're gonna play a little bit more of this, but not too much more. There's one thing I do want to see, so I want to pick up a couple of torches. Because there's no town nearby. I mean, we can use my notes from the other playthrough. There's no town nearby, I don't think, that sells torches. So I want to go see what the Spires looks like in this game, so I'll be 10 minutes. Okay, I am back. One thing I want to do for myself. You aren't going to see this, that's okay. I just want to make the text on screen a little bit bigger for me to read. There we go. Okay. So, let's do this. So I'm sort of curious to see if the combat in this one is markedly different than the combat in Ultima 3. Oh, that's such a godsend. You just walk into the doors and the doors are open. Oh, that's also good. Look at this. You don't have to climb the ladders, they just happen. Oh, that's also very interesting. I can just hold the key down. Alright. Sentinel 2112 says, welcome back, thank you so much. Let's talk. Lord British rises and says, at long last, Lost Wolf, thou hast come. We have waited such a long, long time. Lord British sits and says, a new age is upon Britannia. The great evil lords are gone, but our people lack direction and purpose in their lives. A champion of virtue is called for. Thou may be this champion, but only time shall tell. I will aid thee any way that I can. How may I help thee? Okay, so it already comes pre-selected with this idea of the Ankh. That's an interesting name. My name is Lord British, sovereign of all Britannia. Job? What else? I rule all Britannia, and shall do my best to help thee. Health? I am well, thank you. He says, art thou well? At the moment, yes. That is good. Help. He says, to survive in this hostile land, thou must first know thyself. Seek ye to master thy weapons and thy magical ability. Take great care in these thy first travels in Britannia. Okay. Until thou dost well know thyself, travel not far from the safety of the towns. That's interesting. This is probably more information than we would have gotten in the DOS version. The DOS version would have just let you off to dry. This is actually telling you, hey, listen, you can get health from him, so don't go too far away. What else? Ankh. The Ankh is the symbol of one who strives for virtue. Keep it with thee at all times, for by this mark thou shalt be known. Britannia. Even though the great evil lords have been routed, evil yet remains in Britannia. We didn't read the manual, so we don't know if this recounts the fall of Caesarea turning into Britannia, but okay. If but one soul could complete the quest of the Avatar, our people would have a new hope, a new goal for life. There would be a shining example that there is more to life than the endless struggle for possessions and gold. Okay, Avatar. Lord British says, to be an Avatar is to be the embodiment of the 8 virtues. It is to live a life constantly and forever in the quest to better thyself and the world in which we live. Quest, and then the evil lords and 8 virtues, right, okay. Lord British says, the quest of the Avatar is to know and become the embodiment of the 8 virtues of goodness. It is known that all who take on this quest must prove themselves by conquering the abyss and viewing the critics of ultimate wisdom. Okay, evil lords. The great evil lords are Mundane, Minix, and Exodus. Okay. He says, the 8 virtues of the Avatar are honesty, compassion, valor, justice, sacrifice, honor, spirituality, and humility. Is he going to... Oh, he is going... Okay, so this is almost his entire conversation tree. Abyss? The great Stygian Abyss is the darkest pocket of evil remaining in Britannia. It is said that in the deepest recesses of the Abyss is the Chamber of the Codex. It is also said that only one of the highest virtue may enter this chamber, and one such as an avatar. Okay, we're just gonna dip out of this conversation. The conversation works, the system works. It's very, very clean. I like this a lot. This is a thing that 1990 technology could give to us that 1986 technology probably couldn't. This is very cool. I like that a lot. Okay, let's get out of here. We know Nya is the kitchen. And this should be Seer Hawkwind. Yep. Oh, it didn't try and put me to sleep. Or it is trying to put me to sleep, but it isn't working. Talk. Welcome, Lost Wolf. I am Hawkwind, Seer of Souls. I see that which is within thee and drives thee to deeds of good or evil. For what path dost thou seek enlightenment? Oh, okay, good. And he just gives you the 8 virtues and then says, what do you want to know about? Okay. Thou hast made little progress on the path of honesty. Strive to prove thy worth. What other path seeks clarity? Okay. Oh, and you can just back out of his conversation tree. There's no bye, you're just gone. That's funny. Okay, let's go to Britannia. Or Britain, actually. I don't want armor. I want to buy talk. Welcome to Windsor Weapons. Winston says, welcome friend, art thou here to buy or sell? Buy. Very good. He's got staffs, daggers, slings and swords. Sword? You have not the funds for even one. No, we're good. Let's try and make enough money to buy a sword. Oh, person, hello. Okay, we've got the sling, so in theory we should be able to attack, yes. Okay, he is very unhappy with me. We're going to lose the one guy. We're going to lose avatar points immediately. Okay. Get a chest. Who opens? Me. Oh, we got slept. Perfect. Did we got a little bit of gold out of that. This is such a clean system, wow. Okay. 56 gold. That should be enough to buy a sword. Oh. I don't really want to give up on the sling. The sling is so good, but... Talk. Bye. The finest work of these swords is 300. Okay. 1. Oh, it's such a clean interface. Wow. Okay. Winston says a fine choice. Anything else? No. Ready? Weapon. For me... This is such a clean system. It's unbelievable, actually. Healing? I don't think we need healing right now. There's the mana. Okay. Spirits, food. We're okay for food right now. There's just one of us. I don't know. Let's camp. We haven't leveled up. I don't know where the nearest place is to buy torches. I'm just going to consult my notes very quickly. Where's the first place where we can buy torches? It may be that you can only get them at Vesper. Britain? Yeah, maybe that you can only get them at Vesper. I'm just looking at my notes very quickly to see if I can figure out where we can get torches so we can go into a dungeon. Because I'd like to go into a dungeon before we leave the game. So there's a... Scarbray needs us to have a ship. We could just go to Moonglow. We could just set ourselves up at Moonglow for a minute. Oh, there's one at Pause. Okay, sure. Let's go down to Pause. Pause is on the continent, so... Technology, look, you can shoot at like right angles and weird things. Oh my god. Although I think I'm missing. Aim? I'm missing because I'm armed with sword. Ready? It's fine. Okay, we've learned an important life lesson. I don't know if we're still carrying the... Hang on, let me ready weapon. Oh, I am. Okay. And then we need a ready weapon and sword. Wow, okay. currently using the sling, I think. But I'm missing. This is not nearly as crazy as the pair of bridges. We don't want to end up being accosted by bridge trolls. Okay, cool. There's pause. Okay, all I want out of pause is... This is the market, but I don't know if the market... Oh my god. Welcome to the market. Oh no. Okay, so that's not... Armor... Tavern... no, I don't want horses. I was pretty sure that there was a... Is this not pause? Hang on a second. Oh, it is pause. Where was the reagent shop? Was it like... Eh? I'm sure there was a reagent shop, I just don't know where it is. Oh well, okay. Let's go up to Britannia. Let's just get ourselves to Moonglow. I should probably ready my sword at this point. Uh-oh. He is getting away. Give me the chest, please. Oh boy. Oh, we got the money. He just slapped us. We should go and get our level up. That's also pretty cool. It's remembering the last person I hit. Okay, so let's hang out here because the moon gate is here. Oh, there's the moon gate. We actually missed it. This is the moon gate here. It's hanging out for rather a long time. Oh my god. There. Let's level up. Talk. To you. Welcome, Last Wolf. Doesn't he automatically level me up? It did remember these. That's interesting. Chuckles didn't remember his, but okay. Bye. Oh, you know what we can do? We can talk to him. Health. No. That's much faster too. It's so funny. How are we doing for camp? Oh, I guess it must be 400. Let's go and get through the moon gate. And I should let these people come a little closer before I start shooting them. Yeah. I'm just gonna doodle around for a minute. There. And we'll sword. Oh. Get the chest. Yeah. Get the chest. What was the moon glow script that I had to make? It was... There were 2 hubs, right? It was... Trinsic... And then... Trinsic... To moon glow, yes. So we may as well just walk down to Trinsic. Actually, let's try and use a moon gate quickly. We'll just wait. It'll be fine. Trinsic is the last one. The moon gates are much slower, actually, in this version. But that's good, because it gives you a lot of time to actually jump into them. I also like, incidentally... Oh, it doesn't actually... Look at this. It also doesn't pause here. Watch the moons. Yep. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're at Trinsic. And this one is... It's the second one, right? Yeah, it's the second one. So when we see the moon gate, we gotta wait for the middle one. There should be moonlight. Yeah. Okay, so we just want to visit our friend Margot. Hello, long time no see. It's been about 48 hours. Could you come this way, please? There we go, talk. A blind woman turns to you and says, "Welcome to Magical Herbs. I'm Margot. I need new reagents." "Yes, we want sulfurous ash." "Oh, interesting. I didn't even think to look at our inventory. It started us with a couple of ginseng and garlic. That's so good, actually. Are you in need of reagents?" "Yes, very well. We want, I have, yeah. Your interest, we want sulfurous ash. 2 GP. I've got enough to get 99. Oh. I can only get 9 at a time. So this is the first speed bump we've encountered. It's the first actual thing where you'd go, what, why? But you can't have 99, you can only have 9. Very good, that will be 18 GP you pay. 18. I like... Oh, it's 9 GP. No, it'll be 18 GP. How do I do... Oh... You can have 99. Okay, so hang on. Let's say we were to buy garlic. Anything else? Yes. Let's say we were to buy spider silk, because we have no spider silk. How many would you like? Oh no, this particular... No, you can actually do 99. There you go, 99. That's so clean. Oh wow. Okay. This is a very well thought through system. No. Okay. So we want to mix magic, mix reagents. And here look, it's all the spells. You pick the one you want. We want light. And then it asks you what you want. Yeah, we want sulfurous ash. And that's it, because that's anything we need. Aborted. Oh, okay, hang on. I'm not sure I'm understanding how this works. Magic. Mixed reagents. Light. Sulfurous ash. Light, yeah, okay. Huh. Light should just be sulfurous ash. Let me read the manual because I may not have understood how to do this. Manual. I was just very sure it was going to be very simple. Mix reagents. To prepare a mixture for a new spell, first check the list of spells on the screen. Find the one you want with the D button, then press button 2. Once you've chosen a spell, the list of reagents and the quantities you presently have will appear. If you don't have the proper reagents, press button 1 to cancel the command. These magical elements are very valuable. If you make a mistake while mixing a potion, you lose the ingredients you used. Reagents can be purchased at one of the herb shops around Britannia, if you can find one of them. To select the number of mixtures, press that. Oh, I've been making none, and that's probably what's going on. So let's do magic, mixed reagents, light. I'm pretty sure it's just sulfurous ash. Let me check. Once you've chosen a spell and the quantity you put in, if you don't have the proper agents, press 1 to cancel the quantity. Okay. Okay. Let me have a look at my spell table for my notes. Because I'm pretty sure that light was just sulfurous ash. Yeah, it's just sulfurous ash. There's something I'm not understanding here. Oh, there's a mix command at the top. Okay, I was missing that. Sure. How many mixtures? Are you serious? Give me 9. Okay, let's go back to Britannia. In fact, hang on, let's camp and save. Yeah, give me that. Done. Let's not end up in a bridge troll fight. So this is, it starts off at both. Okay, so we need, I think it was, okay, so it was 1, 2. Oh, I missed it while I was doodling. I missed it. Because the only other thing that I want to see, we don't have a lot of time left today, but the only other thing that I want to see is what a dungeon looks like. And then my curiosity will be sated and we'll be good. Oh, this is going to take a while, isn't it? Of course. I love the way your little guy missions, he's just like pushing out his little weapon and his shield, and it's just cool. Okay, so we want the second one. So here, 1, 2. Okay, let's go up to the start. And on this version, it's clear that these are hills. That's very cool. Okay, so it's dark, magic, cast spell. I am casting, we have light. I love it. I actually do like this. This is much better. It's easy to tell what's going on. So this is the first floor of the dungeon, and it is in 2D, not 3D. Okay, well we can get out of here. That's all I really wanted to see. Because we don't have Z down and Z up here. Because we haven't made them. So, I want to ready weapon the sling. I want to move here. I shouldn't be... This is a snake. We shouldn't be attacking the snake. We should let the snake hit us. Okay, so the snake has hit us. Sword. We can attack it but once. I shouldn't really be attacking with my... Hang on. I should be attacking with my hands. Okay, the one's poisoned me, that's fine. I just want him to leave. Yeah, I'm poisoned. Okay, sure. Get chest. Alright. Yep, we are ticking down to doom. That's okay. We'll go visit, if we can make it there in time. We'll go visit Lord British. Oh, we might not make it there in time. We might die before then. Oh god, yes. We're going to be like on the verge of being there and it's going to be like, it's dark. All is dark. But wait. Where am I? Am I dead? Afterlife? I feel motion. Oh, that's interesting. It kept my experience though, so I'm still at 337, and I have my sword and my cloth. Do I have... Oh, you'd have to use all the other, like this tells you what reagents you have. We've still got our light, yeah. And we got our hands. We lost our sling. Because we're wearing the sword, but we lost our sling. Okay, good to know. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. Oh, it remember the chest was here. Very nice. Oh, we went down to 200 gold. We went to 200 food. Okay, sure. We don't have a sling anymore, so if I do this, it's just hands. We have to get up close to these guys. Yeah. We won't be able to catch this guy. Okay, camp, save, sure, okay, that's good. I actually think that's very competent. It's a very good, very, let's not have them use up their food. I think that's a very good, very competent version of Ultima 4 via the Sega Sega Master System. It seemed to retain everything that was present in the DOS version. I don't know if it retained everything. Like, we don't know, we didn't go to the for example, we didn't give blood, so we don't know if like the compassion system works the same. Um, we don't know what the mantras look like. We don't know what the visions look like. But it seemed to be like fairly competent. It also seemed to be very playable, right? One of the things that was very difficult about the NES version of Ultima 3 was that it was just um, bone-breakingly hard to get started in that version of the game. The last version wasn't so bad, but the NES version just wanted to beat you over the head with a pan every time you did anything. The Sega Master System of Ultima 4 by turns is just gentle and a lot like the early stages of Ultima for DOS. And in fact, I'd argue that because it's 1990 and because it's for a console and because they have to pare things down a lot, it's maybe even a little bit more user-friendly. You don't have to remember every keyword and write it down. You can just discover those as you talk to people and then write that down. I like the ready weapon system in this one. It's very intuitive. I like that you can hit at diagonals, which is also super intuitive and good. I like the music. Um, I like the graphics in large part. Um, there's there's a very different feel to the graphics in this version because it is obviously using um, like it's trying to not be black on color. It's trying to actually have tiles that have, you know, sea colors that aren't black and then blue. But that's just a fault of the system that the game was initially made on. Um, because what they ended up doing very often was they would take the uh, Apple II tiles and then slightly reconfigure them for every other system. So I think that's surprisingly competent. I think that if we had opted into playing this version of the game, it would have been quite fun too. Um, I vastly prefer, and we're going to see this style of dungeon show up again, the dungeons be 2D. It's just easier to make sense of them. And so the fact that they reconfigured the dungeons for this version of the game as 2D dungeons is very cool. So, all in all, I really like that. I'm glad we tried it out and had a look at it. I am sorry that the reviewer in the magazine that we read didn't actually finish the game because I think that if they were interested in RPGs and they'd stuck it through, but there was so little time to review those games. Like, maybe next year the thing that we should do is we should take one reviewer's games from one of the magazines and try and finish them in a month and see how we do. We wouldn't have finished it with Ultima 4, it wouldn't have been possible. But yeah, it's a pity that he didn't finish it and he didn't render some kind of proper verdict on the game, because it would have been interesting to see what someone who'd played the Sega Master System version from end to end thought of the game. So yeah, I really like that. I'm glad we tried it. Tomorrow we are starting a new journey. We are playing. So I've been doling these out very, very slowly because there's only a handful of them. But I have thought about it a lot, and while there are people here, the easiest thing that I can pick up and play and put down if I get called away is a game where we can save at any point in time. And the games that are very like that are often the Sierra and LucasArts games. We played a lot of the Sierra games that I intend to play. I don't intend to play Police Quest. I don't intend to play Larry. I just don't like those series anymore at all because the topics that they try and cover. So we're going to be playing some LucasArts tomorrow, starting with, we're going to play Secret of Monkey Island 1 from end to end, and that will probably subsume 20 or so hours. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it so much. This was fun, and I'm almost sorry we didn't play this version of the game. But yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Secret of Monkey Island. We'll have a look at the box and the manual, as we always do. Secret of Monkey Island is very important for adventure games. So we're going to talk at some length about the idea of how adventure games evolved over the period between King's Quest 1 and Secret of Monkey Island, because there's a lot to cover there about how people started thinking about adventure games. So tomorrow is going to be more of a relaxed stream when we do the box and inside of the box and all that kind of thing. And then probably on Tuesday or so we'll actually start playing the game. So I'll see you for that. Thanks so much for being here, as I say. Have a wonderful evening. Good night for now. See you all soon. Gabriel Gamer says, see you later, Lost Wolf. You too.